What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 31 of the LARNE project here in Football Manager 2019. Today, it is a live com double header, and well, I think for the first time this year, we're doing a domestic game, which seems mad to me because there's been so many that I've played. But yes, today we are going to be taking on Glenavon. They are currently second in the league. They were actually unbeaten up until the point of last episode. Since then, they actually lost to Warren Point Town. So a win here for us could see us pull the gap over them to 9 points. And whilst I don't want to speak too prematurely, you'd think at that point the league should really be ours. Given our squad, given our kind of team depth, this is a game that we should be expecting to win, and well, a win could make a world of difference. Since we were last here, there has also, of course, been 2 games of our own. The first of which was against St Mirren. It was in the Iron Brew Cup 3rd round. We lost this game 3-2, of course, playing against the Scottish outfit down in the 2nd division of Scottish football. And I wish I could tell you that I completely rotated my team. And whilst there might be a few eyebrow-raising rotation options here, I think at the end of the day, we should have been doing a little bit better than how we did. In the end, we lost this game 3-2. They took a 3-0 lead into this game. A fight back ensued, but it was not enough. And yeah, unfortunately, we did go down 3-2. We actually hit the woodwork in this game in the last 10 minutes. A really good chance at the back post for O'Connor, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, St Mirren, they proved that they're tough. Out of all the domestic competitions we're in, I think this was the one I valued the least, given the fact it is not even a Northern Irish competition. And, well, we'll go marching on and go moving on in our other competitions, I hope. Anyway, I mentioned the rotation. You can just see a few of the players here. Adam Cockbill, I've been trying to give a little bit of first-team football to. This guy's 16 years old, Northern Irish, a Northern, or rather a Boreham Wood international, that's not what I'm trying to say, a Boreham Wood graduate. And, well, at 16, he looks like a pretty good player for the future. I've noticed this year in FM, Boreham Wood seem to be really good at producing young players. So I'm hoping he's going to fit that mould. A few other players giving games here. Robert Downey, of course, Iron Man himself, our homegrown 16-year-old centre-back who I have high hopes for. Trying to give him a little bit of football here and there. Didn't really have a game to remember here. And, well, those were the 2 big rotations, really, although, as you can see here, we did also give Lil some football. This guy now naturally able to play out on the left, which is good news. A player expecting a lot of first-team football. A very talented player as well, with a big future ahead of him, I hope. So, expect him to get a reasonable amount of first-team football as this year progresses. Anyway, the game following the St Mirren game was against Addons in the Premier League. And, well, we won this one. You can see 1-0 here. Janelle Bennett with the goal. It was a rebound after a long shot hit the woodwork. A game that we dominated from start to finish. It should have been 5 or 6. It wasn't, but ultimately 3 points is what we really care about. And, yeah, a great way to, I guess, get back on track after that defeat. Anyway, today we go into the game against Glenavon. In terms of our team for today's game, we are almost at full strength at this point. You can see here, Regis Mandanda still coming back from that injury. He's been out for such a long time. Still got 3 to 6 weeks left of his recovery from the broken ankle. Really has deteriorated as a player. I'm hoping he can get back to his best, but it is a teeny tiny bit concerning. Fuad Sul also out with his hernia injury. Again, his physicals are taking a little bit of a tumble. I'm looking forward to having him back because I think he is pretty important to our system as a whole. But besides those injuries, we are almost at full strength. And there is a little bit of rotation here and there. A few unusual players perhaps making appearances, including Lil, who we're going to give a bit of a game to here. You can see his current ability star rating wise. Our staff really rate him. Now, it's difficult to judge our, obviously, scouts and our assistants judging player ability and potential with too much trust. But they seem to really back Lil, and I want to give him to some first-team football to see what he can do. You can see Glendining as well, a player who's really come into the forefront of first-team football due to Mandanda's injury and has taken the opportunity with both hands. He has been particularly good for us. And, well, we're hoping that he can put in a good game today as we are going to be taking on second in the league here. So let's see how we get on. Of course, this is the first of 2 games going on in today's episode, so I don't want to spend too long talking about what's been going on since you were last here, because ultimately we've played 2 games, 1 in the Cup, 1 in the league, fairly standard goings on really. As I mentioned, a win here could really put us in prime position to pull away domestically in the league and hopefully go on to retain our title. That's ultimately the aim, isn't it? I mean, it'd be wrong to assume anything otherwise. Of course, this is only our 3rd season at the club. It feels like we've been here longer than that. the way that this series has kind of panned out, there's been a few more episodes per season than I normally like. I feel like over the next few seasons you might see fewer episodes a year. But yeah, episode 31 we're on now, and we're only just kind of entering the halfway point, if you can even say that, of season 3. I say that because we kind of are at the halfway point, I feel like, in terms of episode numbers, just because there's been so many European games to look forward to and commentate on. But domestically is where we need to shine now, and well, that is what you want to see. Kendra Simmons gets the back post goal. 22 minutes gone. These guys, they are not going to be pushovers. They've lost one game all year. Now, granted, it was recently, and it was against Warren Point, who finished second from bottom. But nevertheless, this was never going to be an easy game, and so to get off to a start like that is great. Simmons, not known for his aerial ability, but he rose like a gazelle there to nod the ball in. And, well, a relatively calm and composed finish, you'd have to say. Half an hour gone, 1 goal to the good. The game itself has actually been fairly close in a lot of ways. Possession has not really been dominantly held by us, although we do edge it slightly. A few more shots in our favour, I guess, but you can see edging in and on half-time here, it is going to stay at 1-0, and I feel like with that, I perhaps have to get a little bit shouty. You can see Cliftonville v Coleraine. Cliftonville 3-0 up in that game. Coleraine, a team who started the year really, really well. If we just look at the league table, just so you guys can see it, you can see Cliftonville and Coleraine, they are separated by, well, goal difference if the result stays as it is at 3-0, which it seems likely it will. So that's a bit of a shock result there, slightly further down in the league. But a win here, or even a draw, is the main aim. It would help us preserve that gap behind us. You can see 28 points. That's already 12 points behind us at this point. If we hold on to this result, we'd also be 9 points clear of Glenavon in second, which is exactly where we'd want to be, really. Anyway, can we knock the ball around nicely here? Jim Meister to Morrison, to Jim Meister again. Nice play, O'Sheen. Big ball up to Lil. Phil Hill, not known for that aerial ability either. I mean, he has, I think, he's like 5'4" or something, Lil. So you don't really expect him to get a lot. I mean, he looks diddy in the match engine now I notice it. If he wins a header, take a shot, new drinking game. I say that. We've just scored a great goal. What a ball that was by Andrew Morrison at centre-back. Can we just discuss that? Simmons with his second goal of the game, his 12th goal of the season. He is loving it right now. Whilst we have kind of struggled in Europe, this has very much been the kind of performance we've been able to put in domestically this year. I feel like because you guys have seen so many of our games where we are the underdog, you kind of forget that when it comes to domestically within Northern Ireland, we are kind of at this point becoming a big fish in a small pond. A really nice ball through here. He was onside. I don't need to see it a second time. And, well, Simmons is going to want his hat-trick. Let's make some changes here. I'm going to take off Lil and I'm going to bring in Phoenix for him. You can see here Andy Morrison and O'Sheen actually playing at centre-back today. McLeany I've dropped just because I feel like McLeany, I mean, I don't want to say this too loudly, but he is not as good as he once was relative to the rest of our team. We've got a few younger centre-backs rising up for our ranks. And whilst the club captain is an instrumental player who I don't really intend to get rid of, I feel like his role in the first team might start to dwindle a little bit as the next year or so goes on. Anyway, chance here. Neco Williams, can he get it into the mixer? Blocked away. Now they're going to hoof it clear. I mean, I feel like that was a questionable replay to show us, but I guess I can't complain. 15 minutes left in this game. Let's just encourage the players. Okay, we shouldn't have encouraged them. They're already frustrated now. But we're 2 goals to the good. We should be fine. Cruising away here. Hopefully we can give this level of performance against Sporting in, I think, 5 or 6 days' time. We've not got a big rest into that game, but some rest nevertheless. And, well, you can see here, 2-0 it's going to finish. Not the biggest goal margin, but a comfortable win, I feel like, at the end of the day. We limited their opportunities. Only 2 shots on target for them. Plenty of positives. And, yeah, we extend that gap at the top of the league that we talked about. And I now hope that we can just keep that going. That's got to be the ultimate aim. The team played very, very well in that game. I'm almost half tempted not really to change the team unnecessarily for our next match. You can see here Daniel Silverio. He's been on loan in the second tier of the Northern Irish Football League. He is developing incredibly over at Dungannon Swifts. He's only got 4 goals this year. But, well, he has got 4 in the League Cup as well. But he looks like just a very good player who's improving. I don't think he's ever going to be good enough for us. But obviously he's the kind of player who's great to have, and if he can go on to have a successful career and stay within Northern Ireland at another club here, it's only ever going to benefit the nation as a whole. But anyway, guys, we've got that Sporting game to look forward to. We're going to go straight forward to that one. It's going to be at home. It's going to be a big one. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a second. Okay, guys, so we are back here for the second game of today's episode. It's at home against Sporting. There's been no matches to speak of. It's been 6 days. There's not really been a whole lot going on. But I'm trying something bold and potentially stupid. Yes. Last episode I talked about my Norwich City save where I had a tactic that I've been using. I didn't really talk about the tactic or the save, but basically I've been doing very well using a 4-2-3-1. Lots of people have been saying, Jack, why don't you just play a 4-2-3-1? O'Connor really hasn't been playing well this year as that complete forward. I have players to play this system. I've caved to peer pressure and we're going to give this a go. So we'll see how we get on, I guess. So this is the system. It's fairly standard, nothing too asymmetric or crazy about it. The personnel really isn't too different. Obviously, the main difference being that O'Connor now plays as inside forward on the left-hand side. We're then going to bring in Janeel Bennett to play on the right-hand side. Now, whilst he is right-footed, he's an okay inside forward, at least attribute-wise. He's got the physicals for it, certainly. And, of course, Simmons has done very well at advanced forward this year. All in all, this is an okay team. Obviously, Jim Meister's out suspended because of the registration rules and the fact that loads of players couldn't be registered this year. There's a few players here who I actually think might be quite useful in this system. I look at players like Lil, who's a very, very exciting young prospect for the future who I will forever and ever talk about. Lee King, another player who maybe could fit into this system as an inside forward on attack. You can see here, he's fairly well suited to it. He's only 19 as well, and he is left-footed out on the right-hand side. Obviously, a player who's never really been able to have a chance in the first team because of where he plays. Of course, it doesn't really do us a lot of favours with our abundance of strikers, but most of our strikers, like Steve Pestridge, who can play out on the right, is either-footed, probably a good advance forward, really, or an inside forward, or indeed a playmaker, and players like Justin Wright, who can play out on the left, or as a centre attacking mid, or indeed as a striker. We have options here. So we'll see how we get on today. Obviously, the reason it's a bold and perhaps stupid decision is because it's against Sporting. The reason for the red, by the way, on the analysis here is because we're playing against a team significantly stronger than ours. That is literally the difference. And, well, you don't see it very often in FM, but clearly FM a little bit scared of the team that we're going to be playing against here. But here they are. It's a team that we're familiar with from last time we played them. We only lost 3-1 away from home. It'd be nice to do better than that today. It'll be interesting to see how this 4-2-3-1 works. As I said, this is a system that is, barring a few minor tweaks, very similar to a tactic that I've been using at Norwich, where in my second season in the Premiership, in my fourth season at the club, I'm currently, third in the league, with not a lot left of the season. And, well, we're going to see how it can apply here. Now, obviously, I don't have the same technically gifted players. My players do kind of fit this system, but they're not of that same quality and same mould as some of the players I've been able to sign at Norwich, where I've been looking for really good passing players. But alas, I want to see what we can do with this system. Anyway, early on, 55% of the ball, which is positive, and we're going to be going forward with it here now. O'Donnell to Kieran Kane. I mean, promising stuff so far. Brad Lyons, a rare inclusion in the team today. Obviously a very versatile player, one of the big earners at the club as well. Difficult to say he's justifying his wage, but he's got a chance to show us what he's made of here. And well, we've started the game pretty strong. O'Donnell, options in the middle. Kyendra Simmons is there. I mean, if there's one thing that we can take solace from in our European run this year, it's the fact that we have scored goals in every single group stage game after 4, which is a pretty good achievement. We've not rolled on our back, we've not played defensively, and while Tommy O'Donnell has never really shone at the club, now playing as an advanced playmaker with Simmons, who he does have a bit of link-up play with, and well, they linked up there sublimely to give us the lead in this game. Apparently we're yet to have a shot on target. Sporting have had one shot and one shot on target. We are in the lead. I'm not going to complain one little bit. Anyway, we do need to defend here. Ryan Gould with the ball, passing it out wide to Silver. Nice block by Janeel Bennett. He's got pace. I talked about that being his big strength, really. He is quick. Brings the ball forward. Simmons, lovely touch out of his feet. He scores again. We'll take that. 2-0. Janeel Bennett with the assist. A lovely ball through. And, well, a composed finish by Kyendra Simmons. That has got to be said. The ball through here, I mean, he's got a lot to do. Gets the ball to his feet, 2 defenders in front of him. Nice touch out his feet, just lets it run into the path of him. And, well, in his stride, he takes it, strokes it home. Keeper, no chance. 2-0. And, well, it could be bold, it could be stupid, I said. Right now, it's looking like a pretty smart move, this system change. Maybe this is what we need to do in Europe. Maybe this is what we should be doing domestically as well. I mean, you've seen the system in action in the first half. You've seen it on paper before the game. What do we think of it, folks? Let me know in the comments. I will say, given the success I've had with it at Norwich, I'd quite like to apply it here at LARNE, potentially as our main system going forward to see how it performs. Potentially then putting it up on the Steam Workshop for you guys to download. If that is something you'd be interested in, please do let me know. But let's not get carried away here. We need to defend, and we need to defend well. Sporting, a very, very good team. I realised I told my players I was very pleased with the first half performance. There is a little bit of a risk of complacency sneaking in here. I've just noticed, is this Jonathan Silva at fullback for them? It is. This is a guy who, years ago, I had at Wolverhampton Wanderers on a stream save in FM14 at left back. He would have been very, very young back then. He was one hell of a player. I've not really seen him in recent FMs, but he's here playing for Sporting. They've got Pinto, can't get the ball in. Nice block. O'Connor, playing that inside forward role. We've not seen a great deal from him, but it's his role that he's kind of most natural to playing. He is naturally a left attacking mid rather than a striker, O'Connor. So it might be interesting to see how he gets on here. You can see initially Sporting pressing high here, but while they're giving us time just to try and play it out from the back. That's what we're going to try and do here through McLeany, who goes to Janelle Bennett. Lovely build-up play here. Little dink ball forward. Simmons for the hat-trick. Surely not. Blocked away. That was a great, great chance. Another clear-cut chance. Still not fully cleared, though. Unfortunately, the ball not quite into the box, but an hour gone here. Sporting, we've not bossed possession completely, but they've had very little in front of goal. Just 2 shots, 1 on target. We have got a few bookings here. I was about to make a tactical change and then the replays just started. I hope that's not a sign that we're about to concede. I'm going to bring in McDermott for Neco Williams, who has played well. O'Connor's not the best game out on the left. Let's bring in Phoenix for him. But well, we're on the attack again, and it's Janelle Bennett to Simmons, who's kind of come across a little bit. Tries to lay it in the path of O'Connor, who is set to come off. Could he do something with his last piece of play? Of course he can. Apparently, Kendra Simmons has been given the assist. That looks like a bug to me. But 3-0 it is. What has just happened? I mean, maybe 4-2, 3-1 is the answer, folks. Maybe this is what we need to do. I feel like this is a teeny tiny bit unprecedented. But, I mean, LARNE, 3-0 up against Sporting with 20 minutes left. Do I want to make those changes? I do. I'm sorry, O'Connor, who wasn't actually given the assist on that goal, which seems like a little bit of robbery, really. 10 minutes left, 3-0 up. Just encourage the players in the last few minutes. They got frustrated at the feedback. I did that last game. I'll learn never to encourage them again. I should just tell them I'm not happy and demand more constantly. Either way, what a performance this has been. Assuming we don't completely collapse in the last 10 minutes, we are about to get a historic win against Sporting, who are top of the group. And depending on how Fenerbahce get on against Karabag, with 2 games left against Karabag and Fenerbahce, our fate could be in our own hands here when it comes to progressing in the Europa League. I mean, look at these stats. This also helps our goal difference. I don't know if head-to-head comes ahead of goal difference in the Europa League group stages. We'd have to check that. But even if this was to finish with just a 2-goal margin, assuming they might score here because it's Sporting and I'd be amazed if we keep a clean sheet, you cannot underestimate and understate just how big this performance has been. Kendra Simmons, surely not. He's offside. He's offside. It surely is not. Unfortunately for him, yeah, flag raised to him. Was he off? He was. He's just gone a tiny bit too early. I say a tiny bit too early. That's generous. It was far too early. A minute left here. What a performance that is. That has got to go down as the best result of the series so far. What a win. That's all that can really be said. What a win that is. And as I said, our own Europa League fate is now in our own hands. I thought going into this game we were going to lose this and, well, all hope realistically of getting out this group was going to be dead. We have come up with one of the best performances I've seen during my 2.5 seasons here at the club. I mean, you can't really knock it, can you? There's nothing that can really be said to quite sum up how good this has been. It'd be amazing to keep the clean sheet, although they are clean on goal here. They are going to score it. I had this feeling it was going to go in. It doesn't matter. It's the last kick of the game. Gelson Dalla, he picks the ball out the back of the net like in the last 15 seconds they can make a difference. The ref, just blow the whistle, ref. It's game over. I made one sub in the end, or 2 subs in the end. I did have one more in the bag, which I've elected not to use, but it just didn't feel like we needed to use it. And, well, I'm proud of this performance. Surely not another. There can't be. There's no chance. There isn't. 3-1. I don't care. What a win. What a result. And you'd have to say we deserve it, which is the best thing you can say about this. How did the other game in our group go? You can see Fenerbahce beat Karabag 2-0. So the way this works out, if we could beat Karabag next game, which I feel like we now have to live com, the game against Fenerbahce could decide it all, especially if they lose to Sporting. I'm just wondering what the head-to-head kind of tiebreaker is in the competition. Is it goal difference or is it something else? Let's have a look. All groups. So it's results between teams. So unfortunately, suddenly the 5-3 defeat against Fenerbahce doesn't look that good. But 3 away goals might help us a little bit, assuming away goals are a factor there. But yeah, next time out, I think it's got to be the game against Karabag. It's not that far away. The 26th of November is going to come around fast. In the meantime, you can see fixtures they're just all over the place. We've got a little break after the County Antrim Shield final. This is a competition that we have won the last couple of years. It's not the biggest domestic cup in Northern Ireland, so I'm not too bothered about live comming that. I mean, realistically, all eyes have to be on the Europa League, where with that historic win against Sporting, who now themselves only sit 1 point ahead of us, or rather 3 points ahead of us, suddenly we have a chance. And also, probably worth reiterating, if Sporting lose to Fenerbahce and we win, there's still a chance that we could finish above Sporting. I'm just wondering in terms of head-to-head. It finished 3-1 here. Obviously, we lost 3-1. What was the next sorting rule? Suddenly, this could actually play a factor. It then goes to goal difference. Now, unfortunately, our goal difference is not the best, so maybe that isn't something we can cling on to. Really, we need Sporting to beat Fenerbahce when we take on Karabag next time out. Whether or not that can happen, I guess we'll find out next time. Anyway, guys, that's been all from me today. Hopefully you have enjoyed this double header. Hopefully I'll see you guys next time. It's going to be big. It's going to be exciting. Karabag away. And, well, hopefully I see you for that away day. It is me, Jack. And I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.